Hi, Balaji. On the third message that we want to talk about today, I saw that MCQ question you put in where the person's face, there was a skinny person who was carrying a baby calf going all the way to where he's stronger now, almost like a Herculean person carrying a full bull. In my opinion, that is, you're trying to tell me that if I follow these directions and follow how the muscle importance and the CPs and all the running, that I could make a better myself. What do you think? Do you think I'm on the right path in my thought process?
Yeah, no, I think you are definitely in the right path. Thanks for that question. You're right. Just to make sure if some people haven't seen that. So first of all, MQCs are midweek questions from coach, and I would like all of you to respond to that. Its idea here is, the learning happens when you think about it. None of this is rocket science.
Yes.
Right? So my job as a coach is to facilitate your brain to start thinking in a certain direction so that you get some learnings from your own thinking. And all of these weekend messages, the MQCs, all are designed for getting your thinking portion of your brain about running. Because this running is a lot in the head first, as I told in the first message, right?
Yeah.
So this week, you're right, I put this poster and it had this series of 3 images. A guy, as you rightly said, a skinny guy carrying a small calf, and he gets bigger and appears stronger, and by the time he goes to the third image, he looks like pretty, six-pack, strong bodybuilder carrying a huge bull.
Yes.
That's really the picture, and you're right. I think you said it correctly. One of the learnings there is, as you train, you get stronger and you can do bigger things, right? That's really one of the good, and there are some good answers on this, on similar lines. There was also a funny one from someone about if it is, in these Urdu countries, then going from the backwards, if you keep training, you lose all your body. That was funny. The picture also signifies something much deeper that I wanted to talk a little bit. Now, if you think about training, Shubha, what is the principles of training here? If you keep it at a 10,000 feet view. The principle of training is the concept of controlled overload. Means we go through, that is why it is a structured training program. That means we have a system where you are exposed to a certain overload that your body is not able to take right now. And by that overload, your body being a biological mass and not a physical mass, it thinks, oh, I'm having an overload right now, so I need to protect myself. And it does something to strengthen itself to take care of that overload. And that reaction to the overload is what is training effect. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. Yes. The reason why it should be controlled is that if it is not a controlled overload, what will happen to a body if you overload it beyond what a body can take? What will happen, Shubha? You are a registered nurse. What do you think will happen to the body?
It'll basically implode on itself because
Correct.
The heart won't be able to take the strain.
It'll just get injured.
The lungs won't be able to take it, or some other part of the muscle, like your knees, your hips, your ankles, something will
put it simply, it'll get injured.
Yeah.
Right? Why do you even have to worry about the details?
Yeah.
If you overload without much control, body will get injured. So the magic here is controlled overload and waiting for the body to respond so that it strengthens itself or the training effect happens. Right? So that is what this picture signifies. When you look at the first person, at that time, that guy is a slim guy, weak, meek guy. He's only asked to take a calf.
Yeah.
And when you look at that guy's face, he's actually struggling to lift that calf as well. The struggle for all the 3 will always be there. There is a bit of, because there is a controlled overload. That means he's always doing something more than what he can do at that state.
Yes.
Right? But as he is taking the overload, he is getting better and better, and as a result, he is able to take on more and more heavy items. That's what you guys are all doing. When you start the training program, 1 mile is an overload for many of you. Okay?
Yes.
But 3 weeks from now, if I ask you to do 1 mile, that will appear very easy and there won't be any training effect. I want you 3 weeks from now, your controlled overload might be 2 miles. That means your body is ready for 1.75 miles at that time. But I'm asking you to do 2 miles. Right?
Yes.
That is what is the training that is happening. And this is where I want to connect the last part of my training philosophy, which is, if you remember, I was telling you that this train will leave New York and will not stop anywhere till San Francisco. That's the training that I was telling you. And if you miss the train, you will not be able to catch up. What I mean by that is, you are in the controlled overload journey, starting from New York. So today the overload is 0.25 miles off 0.75 miles.
Yes.
So you're doing 1 mile and with a 0.25 mile overload. 2-3 weeks from now, the controlled overload would be 0.5 miles over 1.5 miles. Okay? That means 3 miles from now you will be doing 2 miles, but when your body is now capable of doing only 1.5 miles. If you miss the first 2 weeks and come into the third week, I'm asking you to do 2 miles when your body is only capable of 0.5 miles at that time. So you already missed out on the body's development in the training program. So if I ask you to do 2 miles at that time, because you missed the first 2 weeks, your body is not in the controlled overload, but it's in the uncontrolled overload phase, and you will not be able to sustain. You will get injured or you will not be able to do it, and you're out of the training program. That is why, if you think about it in a more detailed way, this program is a continuous, structured, relentless increase of overload from point A to the end point.
Yes.
And that's why 15 weeks from now, when you are in the start line of a half marathon, that time your controlled overload is just 2 miles more than what your body is capable of doing, and you all go and finish a half marathon or a half 5K or a 10K as the case may be. That makes sense, Shiva?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Balaji, for explaining this. Like I said, even though this is my 3rd season, sometimes refreshers are better because it helps you understand and retain information better.
Absolutely. Repetition doesn't spoil the prayer. These,
No.
as I said, none of this is rocket science. But your brain needs time to time refresher of
Yes.
why you're doing what you're doing and how you're doing. If you don't do that, then you'll again go back to some bad habits, and again you'll lose out on
Definitely.
the core things. Okay?
Definitely. Thank you again, Balaji, for the whole thing, and nice chilly weather.
Is your fingers frozen right now?
Almost, but basically I'm so happy we're here because this gives me the idea of, I did half a mile today
There you go.
without even thinking about it.
There you go. It's 1 mile, Shiva. Half mile there, half mile back. It's 1 mile of walking.
Right. We did 1 mile. Wow. It didn't even feel like it. It felt more like a half a mile to me right now.
Look at that.
Training is coming into play here.
And this is also something is better than nothing, right?
Yes.
It was bad weather today. Today, we are all recovering from COVID. We were not supposed to be running and walking, but we went and did this wonderful chat.
Yes.
Sub-zero temperatures, guys. Sub-zero temperatures. Hands are frozen, but we don't even feel like it was a bad thing. It was, in fact, the most enjoyable.
It's enjoyable. It actually is, because actually running in this weather, I wish I could. I love running in this weather. Summertime is my hard time.
There you go. Awesome. Shubha, thank you for hosting this week's Walk with the Coach.
Thank you, Balaji, for allowing me to be with you on this Walk with the Coach.
Amazing. Well, keep going, guys. In summary, controlled overload, commitment, and aerobic training. Nail your CP to get more slow twitch muscles. Take care, guys.
Definitely.